want CR8 now as an app. So let's get the CR8 right here. Open this up. Good, here we go. So I can come to here and I sort of can make it like 250. Not bad. This is a pretty nice size for me here. And we can see everything dealing with CR8. So this first menu here, right here, we can see the GUI size, you know. I can apply as a default to all, right? I may come to here, make it even bigger. This might be even better for the video right here. This is not bad right here, pretty big. And we can see everything here in the UI. So right here is the keyboard. So if I have a sample, I can trigger the keyboard right here, or any number of samples as well. We can trigger those sounds there. This equal sign just brings up where I can make areas of a keyboard into a key group. You know, I can maybe say a certain area is going to be a key group. This certain area I'm going to use as a key group for this one sample. Or I can make just this key group for one sample. And I can make several key groups, right? And you'll see here at the bottom, I can reset. Of course, I reset everything right back where it was. I got my pitch here. We have a velocity. We have the root, and we have scaling. More menu items we have here, which is show tips. So I can probably come to like right here. Once I go to right here, move my cursor around. And once I move my cursor right here, it says voices right there. You'll look in the lower left-hand corner, it'll appear down here. So I go to here, lower left-hand corner, I will see what this is. So I go here to glide, that's glide is off. I can go to bend, I can see bend in the range. I can see fine tuning, it's all there. Just move the cursor to a certain section, it'll tell you what it is. Velocity, the mod wheel, pitch wheel, aftertouch, and keyboard. It's all right here, as you can see. Now next here we'll have the user manual, which is right here. You can run through everything I'm going to tell you, and it'll explain a lot about how it works. Except we will be using DAWs as well. So here also, if I come right here and I click right there, I have a preset browser. I can copy a file. I can save as, save with samples as, set as default preset, locate factory sample packs, MIDI map it. It's all pretty much right here, you know. Here's full reset. I can reset the entire UI right there, my full reset. Let's go back to here. And of course, we have different items like synth. We have instruments, loops, splits, artists, and setups, of course, right? And I can actually go here to preset browser. It'll open up and you'll see all these presets right here, right? So I can see these, it's just sitting right here for me rather than having to keep going back here. I can have it sit right here next to CR8 and use it at any time. Now, as I've loaded some samples before, you'll notice here we have these controls right here. And of course, this is for each one of the samples that we see here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different samplers. So each one of these is a sampler, and the sample is contained inside of it. We can have up to 8 different samplers. Now here, of course, a sample's assigned. So I click right here. That's the sample I want to make sure it's assigned, and I'll see if this sample's assigned here. That's the sample. So now I want to talk about Cosmos. So Cosmos is right here. And Cosmos is our library for samples. So I'll click right here and we'll see the Cosmos browser right here. Let me drag this here in the middle. And you can see there are samples already in here. Right? And I can pull and drag this down further and we'll see more. And there are a ton of samples in here. Actually, there are 2,512 factory samples are in here. I can add sample folders to this as well. So I can make my own thing work, right? The local folders, and I have the Waves Audio Factory. So if I want to use a sample, I could probably come in here and drag. It says here, drag a sampler here. I can drag this sample here and put it right there, and the sample's there. If I want to play it, I can come to my keyboard right here, and I can say, okay, I'll play it. It gets deeper as I go further down, and the higher up I get, the thinner it gets. I'll go back to here, the sample itself, and I'll see the sample how it looks. Now, if I don't like the sample, I can come to here, I'll click this X, I can remove the sample, it's gone, right? Now, okay, so we can also load samples into the Cr8. So I'll come to here, and this is for our Cosmos. You can see in the lower left-hand corner it says Cosmos. I'll click here, and of course, this is Cosmos. It has a bunch of samples in here. These are free samples that come with the program. And so I can just keep hitting samples here. I can search for samples till I come up. I want to search for 808. I'll press return. I want to make it a sub 808. Sub. I'll press return. And I got a bunch of 808s here, I think. So I've got some 808s here, as you can see here, as they play. And of course, see the pitch right here at the end of that. Now, I can take this sample and I can actually drag it over to here. I'll drag this over here. And now we see the sample right there. Let's drag it there. That's cool. So I want to get rid of it though. Let's go back, get rid of that. I can also just double click the sample. And then it loads in here too. There's two ways to load it in actually. So we can get a choice of 2,512 samples. These are factory samples. They come with Cr8. Now you can have up to 8 samples inside the Cr8. So each one of these are a sampler actually. So if I came to here and did like, that opened that one there, right? So I come back, I'll go back to this one again. That's open there. So I come to here, I'll press a plus sign. And now I can add another sample. I'd come to here and say, this might be good. It goes there. I want to add another sample. Let's go with this one. So I keep adding more samples to this. So I go to here, add another one. And I've got 4 of these going here. Let's close this out. Now we got 4 different samples right here inside of the Cr8 software. And so, of course, one is here. You can see it's playing all of them. If I press that down, it's playing all 4 of these samples. You'll see it go yellow on the top as I press this down and hit that sampler. You'll see here all 4 samples appear here. Now I can come to here, let's say I get to a sampler, go out of here and go back to press one of these. I may solo, I'm going to solo this one. I press solo here, I'll come back here to play it. It sold that one sampler. And so it's soloing that one sample. So now I have all these samples here, right? Here's my first sample, and there's my second one over there next to it. Let's play this back first, the first one. Awesome, okay, got it. I'll come out of here. Each one is a sample. If I play any one, if I play one here, they're all playing at the same time, right? And these are all samplers. Now, the maximum sample you can take in is 30 seconds. Any more than that, it'll just cut off the rest of it, but only maintain 30 seconds. That's the maximum length of a sample that you can actually drag into or play into or load into Cr8. So here, as you can see, I have up to 8 samples. I'm in this keyboard mode here, right? I can go back to grab the sample. We'll see the sample itself. And we'll go back here. We'll see the keyboard and how I can trigger these samples. Now, you'll notice, too, that at the bottom here, you'll see there are 8 different samplers. So these are all separate samplers that are inside of the main sampler, which is Cr8. We can see scaling, the root, the velocity, the pitch, and of course, name of the sample. So I want to come and look at a sample. I would come to here and I probably want to play this back. So I come to here. I know what that sample sounds like. Come like this one. Got that one down too. So you can pick what sample you want to hear and adjust these samples accordingly. Now, of course, up here I have my do and redo. So I can go back one, or go back to here, go back to there. I'm going back, or I can go forward again So this is undo and redo. Now as I look at CR8 here, I can also make different samples, copies. So I go to here, for example, this is a sample I've got here. I'll press solo right here. I'll go to keyboard. I'm in keyboard and here I see my solos here at the bottom right. I'll just go here and press this D. That has a D. So I want to probably make a double that maybe. Let's take this. I'm going to click and drag it over to the plus sign. And once I do, it makes a copy of that. So I can pull this out, go to here again, and make a copy of that. Back to the keyboard. You'll see it's this new one here, which is number 8 sample. And I come to here. There you go. So I can hear any sound. I come to here, take that off. I can hear all the samples. Go right to here. Right, you hear those samples all at once, which sounds terrible actually. But we get an idea of what's going on. Now, what I normally will do here, I say, well, I got everything done. We talked about the 30 seconds is the max number of samples or size samples I can put in here, and I can have 8 different samplers. So let's go to here. I can go back into here. I can copy. I can copy this too as well. I can go to, let's go to full reset. I got a full reset. We're back to the beginning again, right? Which is really cool. You can see that from right here. I can also save my samples. Save with samples. I can save as and save it with samples. I can copy, I can paste. So I'm going to paste something in here. I'm pasting something back in here. So as I paste, there you go. I copied all 8, and now I got them back in again. So you can copy that sample group of all those samplers at once, and I can save them as a particular group, my 808 samplers sound or whatever, you know? And that's how that works. Now, once I've loaded a bunch of samples, I've got it, I want to get rid of it, I'll just go right to here and I'll say, okay, full reset. I come to here, I'll go down to full reset and I'll reset everything there. Now, also, I can load other samples that are already done inside of CR8. Now, of course, we have everything else up here on top. Below here, we have our factory presets. So we have samples, and then we have presets. For example, I come to here, I have synth presets. I'll just load one in. Let's come here and we'll load in this one right here. Hell. Load that in, I'll come here and play it. That's that one preset. I'll go back to here. It's already been selected as a synth preset. You'll see that here. Then I'll also see it here under the sampler stereo here, under this preset browser we have right there. So instead of going here, I can always use my preset browser. And I prefer to keep mine open right here like this when I'm doing it this way. I'm not using a DAW at all. I just want to go over some samples, maybe create some samples or get some files organized. And I'll keep this open. So I come back into here, I can load another one and I'll say this one. I want to load this one in. And it comes up and I can come to here, I'll press, and I can pick out some of these and save them and sort of alternate or actually change a few of these samples and make them work in a way that I want them to work. I can load some more presets, except this time I'm going to use the preset browser. I can come here to, let's turn this off. I'll go to subs here on the synth, right? Here's a gritty 808. I click there, it loads in. Now some of these subs you'll see, and some of these presets you'll see, have a part where the sample loops somewhere in the region to give it more length to it also. And you'll see that a lot too as you go through the presets. Let's hear this one back. As I hold it down, sustain lasts a long time. It just never ends. That's what happens with some of the samples that are actually looped in this way. Now, if I want to zoom in, actually, I come to here. I can zoom into my samples. As I drag out, you can see right here, this is the part that's looping. I can pull it out this way too as well. Maybe get a longer loop, and I'll come back in. I want to make sure I'm on the transit, so I can probably go over to here. Right there's probably pretty good. Then I'm going to play it back. Let's go to 0. That's too low. So you see the problem? That sounds terrible, right? So I can go back to here. I want to bring it back to where it was at. Hopefully it'll be the right spot. And we'll go back to here. We've changed it somewhat. See that? So let's go back to our preset. Go back to here. I'll see my preset browser. I'll go to here. I'll go back to here. And we get it right back in where it was at. So I'll go to here again. I'll select it right here. A nice deep C. There's a C, D, E. But a real nice deep C right there. Okay, so I've got presets here too as well. And I can also save and make my own presets, which are really cool. So I'll come to here, and I'm going to look at synth. And I'm going to go here to subs. I go to subs right here, and I can see I'm going to try this warm sub right here. I'll click on this. It loads in. I'll get to here, and I'll say, okay, that's a warm sub. So I want to come to here. That's a pretty cool bass. Let me hear it back again, turn up some more. Okay, good. So I like that bass. I may want to adjust some parameter to it, whatever. And so what I will do, I may want to go to C. So I'll drag this here. Let me grab this right there. We go. I'll drag it over here to C. That's as low as I want to go. Maybe even B's good. Yeah, B's pretty good. So I'll go to there. Then up here, I don't want this Tweety Bird stuff. I don't want too much Tweety Bird stuff. I'm going to here. I say it should be in this range right about here. And so I got that range there. I'll go there down to here. It's pretty good. So I've got a decent range I like. And so what I want to do is probably save this sample. Now, in order to save it, what I'm going to probably do is go to here, and I'm going to save it by just making a brand new sample, I guess, right? So I'll come to here. I like this sample. I like it. And then what I want to do is go to save. Here's save. I want to name it, though, now. So I'm going to name it something I'm called Doc. That'll be my sample names, right? And then I want to save it in Cr8 sampler user presets. And I'll press save. So it was a preset, so the sample's already inside this factory-orientated system, but I can save my own presets in here too as well. Now, once I do that, you'll see here under preset browser, right here, it says preset browser, and I can come to open this up, and I'll go down further, and you'll see it's right there. So I'll load this one up here, load that up. I'll play this back. So it's a different sample. I said, well, you know, I want to get my own sample back up in here, right? So I'll just go back into the browser again. And actually I'll go to my preset browser. I prefer to see this one. And I want to go down to here. And now I want to see this one. Let me load this up. And it loads up the way I like it. No sounds here, none over there. So I can set up my parameters and sort of change the sample and then save it again, which is always great to do. Now, once I do that and I don't like it, I say, you know, I don't like that too much. So I'll come back to here, go back to my preset browser. I want to look at this here and I'll say, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to save it or I'm going to rename it. So I can click right here. I can rename it or I can delete it. Pretty simple. Delete it. I get this response. Are you sure you want to delete that sample? Of course, I press OK and it's gone. Pretty simple. Okay, now I want to talk about Cosmos. Let's get really into Cosmos here. This is Cosmos and it's pretty big here. It's 2,512 factory samples here for us. And we can also add sample folders to it. Now you'll see here we have a huge selection of choices right here. These little circled words here are all different ideas as choice is concerned. Now I already picked out keys, and once I pick keys, this comes here, right? So let's say I go to keys, I want to pop, and I want to, oops, look, it's changing now. See that? Dry, okay, and piano, boom. And these are the sounds that match these parameters. These are all chords here. And I don't see any single notes, but you can see that's what is given to us. And it's a great way to find out what's going on too. I may want to go to, let's say, I may want to get rid of, go to acoustical, and I may want to get rid of keys, right? And I want to go acoustical pop, and I may want to get rid of piano, right? And so I got a whole different choice going on here. Let's hear what this is. And it's the same, see, the same sounds are right here. So let's get out of pop. Good. Now we have acoustic and dry. Let's see what this is. Includes tambourine. Now there's a slight gate on these drums. So it's not actually dry, but we'll deal with that as it is. So next here, I can also change the view. I come right here, and now I just see the entire view like this, rather than separated by this side here with the sample, then this side with the name, the length, the key, and then the BPM. And so I come to here, and I just see this brightness right here, right? All the stuff bright here. This is we look at the data itself here, right? So this represents what this dry and acoustic is right here. That says pizzicato chord. That's pretty dry, and it's acoustic. So let's go back to here again. I like this view myself. It's a little easier for me too, and I can also see if I got it on, turn it off if I don't like it or whatever. But that's how we can select sounds. These are one shots, for example, right? These are one shots. I click here, I want to get my one shots going on. I want loops. I go here, I got my loops. So I want to see the loops. Okay, it's loops. Let's get rid of this, these parameters. This way we can get free and see what we got in terms of loops. Now here, what I prefer to do is actually see how many loops we actually got. So I can have my own collection here, or I can have their collection, right? So I can put my own collection in here too as well. But I don't see anything here. Let's just click on this one here.
Calling out your name.
Okay, let's go to here. And it's a loop. Another loop right here is a percussion loop. Stop that. So these are the loops that you'll have here. I can also say I got some I like a lot. I may go to here and say, you know, I like a few of these sounds. Let's check out the sound here. What's the sound? That's a 808 I might like. All right, so I'll go to here, and I want to star this bad boy up. So I got this right here. I'll go to, boom. No results match your, so it's not start up. So I go back to here again. Let's go back to loops. No more star. I got this 808 lined up here somewhere. Let's look at this one. Nope. That's more of a percussion sound, so I'm not liking that one too much. So, but I may get a sound I like a lot. Now, sometimes you may want to actually use the same sounds in certain projects you're doing, so you never know, or take these sounds and put them in your own little collection or whatever. So I may do something like come to here. I may like that sound. And if I do, I'll go to here, I'll click the star, put a star next to it. So I look for stuff I like. Okay, that's an African beat there thing I got going on. Like that one. I come to here, I like that. So I'm building a collection of stuff I like, right? And I'm looking to see, well, what else here I might like to just deal with and keep. Let's go to this one. That's too not me. And over here, I may want to use this riser. So I go to here, put the riser in there, right? So I want to collect enough stuff I like. And once I do, I come there and say, well, I got my stuff I like. So I come to the star, hit the star there. I can see all my favorites. Now, a lot of times we're just searching for what we need or searching what we can find inside of anything, including CR8. So I can come to here and go into instruments, and I want to look for, say, percussion instruments or look for guitar. I would click here for guitar. A guitar would appear there, and I would see a list of different guitars. I'd come to here. Stop that. Come to here. What's this? Gypsy guitar? How about coming here? Stop that. So I can just hit a guitar, it'll play. I can hit any sample, it'll play. And even if it's playing, I hit the next sample, the next one starts playing. Or I can press the pause and stop sample playback totally. And so if I select the stuff I like, I'm going to select, let's say, I like this one here can go on my guitar pack, right? And I can say, well, what am I going to call this? I'll call it GTR, right? And I'll press, boom, that's GTR right there. And I've got a pack I like called GTR. So what's this one here called? Let's see, this is East Coast. I might put that in there too, right? And I'll put it in this one. Boom, it's in that pack. So I can make up my own pack collection of my favorite guitars. So I make my own collection like that. I come to here, boom, pop you in there, you're good. And if I want to get rid of you, I come back to here, I don't want you anymore. Boom, you're out of it. So I can move certain samples in and out of folders if I like to. After I've had them for a while, I may not want to use them, or I may find something better, but it's a great way to start your own collection of the samples you've got or given to you here in the Waves, and you can start going back to them whenever you want to go back to those samples. So here at the very top, you'll notice there's a little speaker icon here. So I can come, let's say here. I can control the volume of the output from right there. Now also right here is going to be your log in or log out. You click right there, and you can click here to log out if you want to log out. That's pretty simple right there. Of course, you'll see this here once I pick in this area, right? Tells you what sample that is right there or here. I can also go through every one of these. Of course, these are the ones that are considered guitar, right? And I can look for parameters to, let's say, space. And I can come to the outside, I want to look at saturation. So we can see everything pretty much here. It's a pretty cool system. I like it a lot. And it kind of works. As I scroll through the rest of them that I hear. And so this is how Cosmos works. Now also, if I come to here, you always notice in Cosmos, there's a length, how many bars. There's a key signature as well, and there's also the BPM of every sample. This is where you can't go wrong when picking out a sample. Okay, so right here we have outputs, our outputs. If I come to here and I hit a note, that's kind of distorting there. That's too loud. I'll bring it down. So I'm going to go to here down a little more. That's oh, there you go. Right? Got that. We know what that is. Not too loud. So I'm adjusting the loudness. I can get lower than that. I want to make sure my loudness is proper. Of course, how many voices can we have? Well, we can go up to 16 voices, I believe. Yep, 16 voices, right? So in this case, this is a bass sound. So my polyphony is going to be no more than just one. There's a glide. So I come here and there's glides. There's this glide in there. Now come here and turn the glide off. No problem, right? Now if I had a glide to it, we would have a problem. This is bending. I'm not bending the note at all because I don't have anything to bend it with. But you can see this is bending. Go back to 4, how much the bending will happen. Then we have a fine tune here in tuning. So tuning is pretty simple, but all these parameters are global parameters. That means every sample in the sampler would play, and they would all be controlled by the tuning, the fine, the bend, the glide, the voices, and the output right here. And of course here we have our controls for our sample. Now we have play mode, of course, or we can do launch, and we have the scheme here, which is classic. And we have tuning, width, the panning, and then we have the volume. which you know, right? We can control this volume, right? There's no problem with that, right? And that's for this individual sample right here. But this is not for the global. Remember that. So now I want to use Cr8 along with the machine software from Native Instruments. And first of all, what I want to do is make sure my keyboard is hooked up. I'm using an MPK Mini 3. So I want to go to Preferences first. Here in Preferences, I want to head to MIDI. While in MIDI, I want to make sure MIDI input is here. I want to go to MPK Mini 3. Okay, that's good. That's established. What's here? And what's going to go here? Yep, I can actually play that. So that's good. So now what I want to do is I want to come in somewhere here and change something. So here, I've got a hi-hat. And what I want to do is get rid of this. So I'm going to press delete. And now I'm going to put the Cr8 right there. So the Cr8 is a plugin. So I want to put a plugin right there. So I'm going to here. I'm going to go to VST3. Here are the waves. Look at my wave files. And it's right here, Cr8, the stereo sampler, which is good. And we can see some controls for it right here. It's page 1. So I want to go to here, though, and just pull up the actual app. There we go, the app. So now I want to load something in. So I can probably come to here. I'm going to go here. And I'm going to look for something. I'm going to probably load in a bass drum or something here. Let's see. We got a... That's a flute. I need a flute. I don't need a flute. I need something I want to load in here. Let's see. Let's see when to load in something here like... that clap sounds pretty good. Let's try something else. Let's get an 808. Good. I want to get the 808. I want to get the bass. I want to make sure it's a sub. And I want to keep it a little monophonic. And so now we got some bass drums. Okay, not bad. So I want to probably increase it a little bit. And I'm going to double click it. And then I'm going to close out of Cosmos. This is good. So I got it right here. So now what I want to do is I want to go into here. I'm on this track here. So I want to put it probably on the 1. And then put it on the 3 here just to get some idea of how this thing sounds. And here. And I'm good. Let me go move this over here a little bit more. There you go. I can see more of what's happening here. Now play it. Now solo it. So now I can hear it. Turn up some more. So I can change the tuning a little bit. So I can change the cutoff. I know it's mono anyway. So I got a kick drum in there. Pretty simple stuff to do. So I've added a drum inside this track. It's pretty simple to do. I can use a keyboard to play it back and get a different pitch. Now, I may not even like that. So I may come in here. I'm going to just go here, let's see, and run my pencil tool across this channel here for this track and erase everything. I can always come back in and play it in. So let's go back here. Let me close this out for a second. I'm going to press record here, and I'm going to record on this track right here, track number 3. All right. So I'm going to record on track number 3, which is going to be kind of cool. So we're going to press record and play start. can see, I've added some drum sounds here just from hitting the keyboard. So I can actually record in using the application inside the software. I've got a separate track set up for it and recording. So I had it set for stereo, but actually, as you can see here in the app itself, this is a mono output, right? Even though this does say it's CR8 in stereo, it's a mono output for this track. And that's how I can use it inside of Machine.